Hi, how's it going? I've decided to make a new fishing tutorial video for Big Farm only because they've added a new feature in which you can save fishing sets, that is, different types of equipment that you can put onto your boats so that you can quickly load up the boats and send them out. And that wasn't included in my first video because that feature wasn't there. If you are sort of familiar with the fishing region, that's good, but there are probably a lot of questions that you have. I will show you quickly a review. On this page you have to purchase boats, and you can choose to purchase different types, but your ultimate goal is to try and acquire a fleet of level 6 trawlers because they are just as fast or even faster than a racing boat, but has fantastic storage capacity and fishing rate, and you can really clear out the pools if you have level 6 trawlers. In the pools, you'll notice that there's quite a lot, and the hundreds of fish that you want to try and catch in the shortest amount of time or the most efficient way, that can be figured out, but it is a trial and error when you don't really understand this region. You need to look at the boats themselves to understand how this works and how to become very efficient. And it involves some math. If you look at the boat, I'll just clear some of these out. If you look at the boat, it has some preset sort of things to it. It has its own capacity without adding any equipment. It has a fishing rate of 15 fish per hour, and it has a travel rate of 2 3/4 of an hour, and it has a storage capacity of 195. If you were to just do the math and figure out how much would this boat go and catch without any equipment, you take the fishing rate, which is 15, you multiply it by the fishing time, which is 2 hours and 3/4, which is 2.75 of an hour. Your answer is 41.25 fish. So you know that if you attempted to fish out this pool of 709 lobster, it would take multiple trips to get that done. Very inefficient. What you can do, though, if you're trying to really quickly fish this out, is to take some equipment pieces and throw them in here. Depending on how many boats you can get into a pool, this will help change the math. What I usually do is take the pool and divide it by the number of boats I think I want to send out there. For 709, you could send out 3 boats, which means you have to catch 236 fish in each boat. Or maybe 709 divided by 4, and now each boat only has to catch 177.25 fish. So I like this scenario, and I also like it because I can use the storage capacity of 195. I don't need to add equipment to make the storage bigger. All I need to do now is just change the fishing rate, or I change the length of the fishing trip, or I can change both. Okay, so 177.25 divided by 2.75, which is 2 hours and 3/4 of an hour, equals 65. Basically, 64.45. That means I need to change the fishing rate by adding Roy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He adds 10 each time. We've hit the 65 fish caught per hour. And then I know that the capacity is fine because it's 195 without adding any additional storage. But what I want to do is go from an 11-hour and 54-minute trip. I want to reduce it as much as I can. And that's where we add on Bridget. She takes off about an hour each way. So as you can see, I'm adding her, and the time to that's saved, it's called, time that's saved, is changing. What this means is that 3 hours, 19 minutes, and 30 seconds one way is taken off, and the other way is also taken off, which means it's 6 hours, 40 minutes, 6 hours and 41 minutes that's taken off of that 11 hours and 54 minutes. Have a look, and the trip is reduced. I want to save this set because I'm going to apply this a couple times. I honestly use these sets and rewrite them over and over again because every pool is different and I don't use the same set. However, Big Farm gives you 2 of them to keep. So I've actually created one as I call it the full load, and I just changed the other one. Okay, so here we go. This is the trip. The boat is going out, and I will go here. Instead of plumping all those back in there, I click a boat. I open up the sets. I pick the one that I just made and send it out. Super fast. And last one, sending it out. Oops. And out it goes. If you said, why aren't you using lobster bait? It's because there's only one type of fish in this. I don't need to equip the redundant lobster bait to catch the lobster that's only in this pool. If you had a pool that had more, like this one here, and you only wanted to catch, let's say, cod, because you're doing the hard worker event, let's imagine. I'm going to skip this one. We'll use this as an example. Let's go over here. You know what? I'm going to use this one as an example. Nope. This one here. Okay, cod. I'm looking at the total trip. 9 hours, 30 minutes. And I only want to catch cod. And let's say I want to only catch 195. I don't want to add anything. I want to add as many of those Bridgets as I can to make the trip as quick as it can go. So if I go into here, I look for the cod bait, which I don't have. So I'll go over here and look for fish equipment. And which one is it? I have to click on them because I don't usually use bait that often. I usually just send the boats out and just let them catch them all until it's completely emptied. Buy one of those. Okay, so one slot has to be for cod bait, and I think I'm going to try and catch 195. Let's see what that is. 195 divided by 2 hours, 45 minutes. I need a fishing rate of at least 75. Well, the answer is actually 70.1, but I'm going to use 75. In case you haven't noticed, Roy is maximized for the trawler. Victor is the most effective for the trawler for increasing the length of your trip. And then Bridget is the one that's the most effective to reduce the trip of the time or help you save time on the trip. A large freezer is what you would use on the trawler to maximize the storage. Okay, so I hit 70 at least, 71 at least, so I'm at 75. Now I throw on as many Bridgets as I can to make the trip as quick as it can be. So reducing down, again, looking at the time, that 11 hours, whatever, is reduced by about 5 hours. And notice that I wouldn't have just equipped the set that I saved. I would have just equipped I might have made a new one if there were more boats available. If I had maybe another boat here and another boat here, I could have saved the set. Only if I bought enough of those rods to get the set out. If you don't have enough equipment, let's say you run out, it'll actually give you a notice like error, you can't equip this or something because the equipment is missing. So I'm going to send this boat out. The boat's going to be back in 7 hours and 15 minutes instead of that long 11 hours or so. So the only other thing I could show you really, and I don't think it's going to show me, rename now, is basically if you want your trips to go longer, then the rate of fish caught per hour wouldn't be as high. If I had sent a boat here and the total here is 44, 84, we're looking at about 100. That's 100 fish that I want to catch with that boat. I could easily send it out for 2 3/4 of an hour and then put no additional storage. I would have a high fishing rate per hour, and I would probably only need about 3 Bridgets to return the boat back in as fast as it can be. So I hope that helps. If you have any questions, just leave a question in the comments below, and happy fishing!